What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be helping you by showing you all the things that will get you a super solid, super consistent single-handed backhand. Some of you may know that I used to play and compete in college and professionally with a two-handed backhand, and I recently switched to a one-handed backhand about a year ago, maybe a little longer at this point. But in 1 year, I went from a shot that I had never really used to a shot that I'm able to compete with 10, 11, 12 UTRs again. And that happened in the course of 1 year. So if I can do it in 1 year and you've been using it your whole life, I'm going to give you the things to maybe pay attention to that will help you with that. Let's get right into it. When I switched from two hands to one hand, the first reason that I did it was I felt like there were a bunch of different advantages that came with a one-handed backhand. You have more reach, you get a little bit more versatility and dexterity once you learn how to do it. So my goal in this video is going to be to highlight some of the benefits of it and show you what technical things are necessary in order to benefit from the one-handed backhand. First thing we're going to get into is one of the weaknesses, but the strengths. So one of the first advantages to a one-handed backhand is that you have more reach than a conventional two-handed backhand. Once you're out in this range here, you wouldn't be able to actually do that with two hands. But the problem that comes along with having more reach is you also lose some of your leverage and your strength. So it requires more momentum to build into the backhand to be able to really rip it and let it go when it's out in that full range. With the two-handed backhand, because you're braced by that left hand if you're right-handed, you can kind of muscle some uncomfortable shots back into the court, which is very difficult when you have the one-hander. But once you've kind of gotten past that initial weakness, the benefit of having that extra reach and extension out into the shot really allows you to find new pieces of the court that were tougher to find with a two-handed backhand. For example, you're able to reach forward more and find the outside of the ball and generate more angles. At the same time, balls that come at your body become a little bit more difficult because, you don't have that left hand to really get uncomfortable shots off. But one thing that comes along with it is your ability to change grips faster because your left hand is already up here. So changing into slices, for example, becomes a lot easier. So the first thing I'm going to get into is the shape of the backhand. You need to make sure that that ball is being struck upward. When you're hitting a backhand, no matter how strong it is or how weak it is, that ball's going to be coming to you, and your racket needs to be going at an upward motion to get that ball to leave in a controlled way. The problem a lot of people have when they first switch to a one-handed backhand is they open that shot and they pull it across their body. It becomes a lot of side spin that ends up happening. Can you make the shot? Yes, but is the shot as easy to control? No. You'll see a lot of ripping going on, but it has to be timed perfect in order to work. Whereas when you really understand the shape of the ball, you're able to maintain control of the ball and find those different spots on the court. Like I'm hitting down the line, I'm stepping in, I'm taking the ball early, but my motion still remains the same. Biggest mistake people make, dragging that shot across too early, opening up the chest into these positions here, which makes it really difficult when you end up hitting balls late. So switching the angle here, what I want you guys to do as a little practice exercise is take your racket, set it down by your hip, and just focus on picking your arm up. Nothing crazy, don't even have to make it, but what your goal is for your racket to still be on an upward path as the ball leaves your racket. Because once you understand that part, getting the ball to be controlled as you go down the line or go cross court becomes easy because I'm shaping the shot first and then directing it. Most people will go, I want that ball cross court or I want that ball down the line. They're going to take that path out towards that shot. But what ends up happening is you end up with not enough spin to control it. But if you go with the upward part first, then you build your speed. That's when you're going to be able to really rip into it and not lose your direction, not lose your shape, and still know that you're going to be making that contact pretty clean. The next part that you have to really pay attention to is that your preparation and your rotation is going to change when you switch to a one-handed backhand. For example, when you use a two-handed backhand, the shoulders are going to set the same way you would set with a one-handed backhand. But the difference is, as I kind of illustrated already, is you're trying not to open up your chest at the wrong time. With two hands, the shoulders are going to rotate all the way back around and bring you back towards the court. With one hand, you're trying to keep that chest to the side as long as possible. And once the ball's gone and the shoulder momentum is actually pulling you, that's when the chest would open. So what you need to pay attention to when you're practicing this is have your chest face the side wall, for example. Practice being in this position. And then as you go fast or slow, not letting your body open up to look and see what the shot's doing. Because inevitably, if you keep looking at it, eventually you're going to start opening up early, which is going to open you up to later contact because you're going to be leaving your body and your racket behind. You're going to end up looking like that. You want to keep the body sideways, which allows the arm to go really far forward, and then let yourself be pulled out after the ball's already gone. So you take that shoulder, lock it in place, extend that arm out, but leave the shoulder here. And then from there, once the ball is really gone, allow your body to open up and protect the tendons and muscles in your shoulder. But if you look at it in slow motion, my chest is sideways at contact, and then I open. Chest is sideways, and then I open. So the last thing I'm going to highlight after the shoulder turn is going to be where that racket gets released. A lot of people have a bad habit of going from here, dropping the racket to their side and then releasing, but what ends up happening is you end up pulling the racket around very easily. What we want to do is we want to throw that racket down behind us and then release it from that position up. A trick that I came up with, or at least nobody ever taught me, was really using my left hand to push the racket down during the release and then pulling my arm out naturally from that position. So I basically divide the work between two different parts. My left arm pushes down while my right arm pulls the racket out. So you end up with a motion that goes down and then up really quickly without really trying to really get the arm down and pull it up. A lot of people really try to muscle this down and then pull it up themselves. I'm just trying to pull my shoulder out into the court, but using my left hand to push it down takes care of that up and down part for me. My left hand pushes down, my right arm pushes up. Left arm down, right arm up. And again, this is after 1 year of doing this. So I hope that video was pretty helpful to you guys. Again, it's not super complicated. I didn't want to go into too much detail about the super technical parts of it because there are a bunch of videos that are already out. But these are the things that helped me fast track my one-handed backhand. Again, you want to make sure that your chest doesn't open up too early. I decided that using my left hand to push this down really made it easy for me to let my shoulder naturally come up. Again, nobody ever told me that. There may be somebody who said it, but I've seen more people focus on keeping both arms together. Me, that little nudge from my left hand really made it easy to accelerate up. And then again, don't let your racket pull across as you release the hand. You want to release the hand up. And after everything else worked out, I was able to compete with, like I said, 10, 11, 12 UTRs with months of practice with this. So for anybody who's been using a one-handed backhand their whole career, making these little tweaks could drastically improve what you're working on and make it easy to use and make it more easy to control. But thanks for viewing the video, guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you know anybody who will benefit, like I said, send it off to them. But we will see you in the next one.